Tadaima. I am posting this on a YouTube channel that my mother doesn't know about because she is the one who threatens me for, I'm going to call him Voldemort, he who shall not be named. And I'm going to read this email that I sent earlier, and I made some serious typos in it, so I'm hoping to explain myself a little bit in here. I don't read it before I send it because, frankly, I started that habit when I realized I wouldn't send anything. I would spend so much time trying to fine-tune what I'm writing that the emotion was no longer where it was. And the No Kings March, the No Kings protest, absolutely make me feel safer. The fact that Trump is able to, he's losing his own people, and there's nothing even new that people are learning. It's all stuff that we knew from before the election. I mean, certainly that part where Texas, not having people forecasting made a difference. People not having people answering calls at FEMA certainly made a difference. But we knew he intended to make those changes when people voted for him, which is why so many of us cried horribly when he was elected, because there is absolutely no way people understood what they were voting for when they voted for him. I'll move it away from that. That's not a political issue for me. It's a safety issue. At this point, if you can't figure out that me never having said anything kind about Trump and recognizing from the beginning that MAGA was basically flat earthers who were getting tricked into voting for a man who wasn't a Christian, wasn't a Republican, and wasn't pro-life. I mean, I feel for people because, he's making fools out of us. Not us. He's making fools out of the people who voted for him. But, I mean, there is a certain amount of I told you so. That doesn't excuse the people who are saying, you get what you voted for, and so don't mourn the death of your whomever. Those people are just being cruel. But there is enough cruelty going around that I do understand why people lack the self-restraint from saying such hurtful things. The thing that broke my heart was what Israel's doing to Palestine, and the fact that Israel is a terrible, terrible, terrible neighbor. And the reason Israel exists is because we, as Americans, didn't want them here. Not because they were Jews, but because they were hurt people. And hurt people bring a different kind of baggage. I understand now why people don't want their kids to get involved with somebody who has childhood trauma. But the solution to that isn't to isolate those people. The solution to that is to help us all coexist together so that there are fewer children with trauma that grow into, adults with trauma. But I digress. So let's read this email. What you see on the screen is my emotions in color, I suppose. I've used color to make up for the fact that I can't see details, and so color means things now that it didn't used to before because I've assigned meaning to it. Yellow being physical, red being emotional, blue being social, and this new world, I'm kind of tired of doing the same thing, so now we have yellow, magenta, and cyan, and I will still use these colors to help me cope. I'll just say that. All right. Here's my email to the very nice human who is in Hillsborough trying to help me deal with stuff. And she asked why I didn't stay at Sequoia. I said I don't remember. I think I had a medical problem, and when I tried to schedule again, I was off the books. Eventually, that's what happened at LifeWorks Northwest. When I get sick, it takes a month to recover. Anemia is a problem for me, but blood goes back. The reason I went to counseling was to document all the stuff that happened. I was terrified, and the only solution therapy could give me was how to feel better about being threatened, not how to quit the threats. At this point, this is not part of the email. At this point, if you can't figure out why somebody who was immersed in MAGA and yet knew MAGA to be a criminal enterprise, how that terrified me, then you're just not paying attention. The lives of my kids were threatened in 2017. The only reason I quit working with the authorities is because my children in 2017 said, "Mom, we believe that if you keep talking to the authorities, we will not survive. And I said, the only way I can stop advocating here is if you tell me this is a life or death issue. And I clarified. And I was told that this is a life or death issue. My children saw that telling Salem police about violence did not stop the violence, it escalated the violence. That's what my kids experienced in 2017. And the last thing I taught them before I left my home to go sleep on the streets of Portland was lying is a safety mechanism. And that I had told the truth, but I didn't necessarily think that was the right. I point out I'm leaving because I told the truth. So you're going to have to decide for yourself what you tell people, and I'm not going to judge you for lying to survive. Because there's a guy at church, Mike McCoy. He's passed a number of years ago, and he was one of the very, very few people that I had truly bared my soul to, and felt like I connected with him. And we talked about how during World War II, I mean, it wasn't Christian to tell the authorities, here's some Jews, why don't you take these and kill them? And we're in that world right now. I understand that we're only up to the concentration camps. We haven't actually made the concentration camps into extermination camps yet, and maybe we won't. I hope we don't, and it looks to me like even Republicans are having to deal with the fact that they're just not going to win the midterms. I can't put my emotions on it too much one way or the other because my heart's already broken. But we're living in a world where telling the truth is getting people in trouble. This is the first time in my life that I have absolutely not trusted my own government. All right. The reason I went to counseling was to document all the stuff that happened. I was terrified, and the only solution therapy could give me was how to feel better about being threatened, not how to quit the threats. Obviously, I'm unashamed. I've told you where I've went, and if I send an email to the authorities, which seems appropriate at the moment, that means more, because if I lie to them, I will be held accountable. Therapy by nature doesn't or didn't record the threats in any way that mattered. I was in counseling in Salem when a crime was committed, and my counselor was not helpful at all. I saw counselors every step along the way because I believed that recording my experiences was going to be useful. What I've discovered is that they make a lot of money off of helping people that they don't actually have. I don't understand. I was a mandatory reporter, and I do not understand how other mandatory reporters are coping because they just aren't reporting. There's too much hurt for everybody to report now. All right. Alicia explained that when she talked to the state, there wasn't even an accusation against me except that I was unkind for reporting life-threatening child abuse. Alicia was my counselor at LifeWorks Northwest, and I don't think she met my mother, but Amanda did, and whoever the supervisor was on the day that Amanda met my mother, and that was it. I don't know if it was useless because I can say I tried, but it certainly didn't feel helpful. It felt like it has felt like I am a bystander to my own life because the pieces that are in place to protect people like me simply didn't get addressed. The Salem police, when I reported life-threatening child abuse, told me it was mutual combat against a child. It's ridiculous on its face, but it was a bigger deal that I was unkind than it was that my brother was killing my kid with his physical violence. Anyways, here's where I once again write in the email what I just told you anyway. I had my mom come to talk to Amanda and a supervisor. To my knowledge, I've never even accused of doing anything except being unkind for reporting my son was dying from violence my mother hid to protect her sons. I haven't heard you offer any option that doesn't keep me silent. Doesn't that strike you as odd? I'm CCing the police so that I will, in a real sense, be testifying to what I just said. I do this for legal reasons, and your people should absolutely help you understand why what I'm saying is true. The question for me is how long until I am as protected for blowing the whistle on Salem police as my brother was protected when Salem police he hurt me. I certified a business to protect Voldemort's kids from Voldemort, and it worked until MAGA. When will the police protect me from Voldemort's real threats with the same zealousness that they have protected Voldemort from me, explaining to academics and churches and how MAGA used my faith, reason, and family values to commit criminal conduct I outrageously protested from the very beginning? I've seen the news. I've never even once said anything pro-Trump because people who paid attention knew he was a criminal before 2017. Why is it so hard to believe I've been utterly terrorized for 8.5 years? The only reason it stopped is because MAGA now has hurt so many people I can just blend in. That's not my mental illness. So I need to get a copy of that phone call. My money is on Shelley Aschenbrenner having a copy for herself and Officer Duggan forgetting to record it. I'm not looking to expose corruption. There are too many good people that would have to be put in jail. I just want to talk about reality with people who are also talking about reality. Why do I think Shelley has a recording of Officer Kevin Duggan misrepresenting what you can hear on YouTube I said? She knows I recorded everything after brain injury in Hillsborough's police custody. It is those forensic interviews that I explained why I've been terrified. I gave birth to triplets. At this point, I didn't finish making the correlation. I'm talking about how my emotions have been overstretched, so I don't even recognize what I should know to be threats because I've been threatened so much I can't be scared of it all. But what I wrote, I gave birth to triplets. At 20 weeks, the uterus is at the size of a singleton full term, and Dr. Winkler explained it's kind of like overstretched Speedos that can no longer hold it all in. I don't want my own brothers prosecuted, and I was too physically ill to talk about how hurt I was. I left Salem not long after being in the ICU. This is the first time my heart doesn't go into an arrhythmia talking about it. And I've had 2 traumatic brain injuries from hypoxia, and despite never having a cavity until Lupron, now I've had all my teeth removed. Alicia at LifeWorks Northwest is the first person I've ever ugly cried in front of. Oh my God, that was so embarrassing. I'm done with secrets until someone has found my now adult children and told me how to appropriately talk to them about what's happened. What will happen more and more is that I will read emails into YouTube and hold people accountable for the gaslighting I've experienced after trusting Salem police to stop the violence that was killing my son in a child care I certified with 4 generations. Heck, my family, I don't think I can say that part out loud. I say, I can't hate Bob. I can't hate Alex. I can't hate Alex. I can't hate these other people for the Hitler salute in my living room. All I have left is my birthright, my First Amendment birthright to tell the truth about myself. Now, as it's been explained to me, I don't have to not say his name as long as nobody sees it. So I did let the name slip. However, I'm posting this somewhere that in an account nobody should find. My mom is not going to be cruising YouTube looking for my video. And it's long, boring, and I'm pretty sure the music isn't good enough that anybody else is going to, want it for the music. So I believe it is legal for me to leave that slip up in here. And if I am wrong, I am hoping somebody will simply tell me instead of threatening me with jail. The fact that I have to, well, you heard me gasp, right? So there is an emotional reaction to that fear. It doesn't help that when I was in jail, my medication for breathing was withheld, and then I ended up with a fall, and I didn't hold my pee for like a month afterwards. I saw a Kaiser doctor when I could finally hold my pee long enough to go to the doctor. So that stuff really happened. Another story about jail in Hillsborough is that they wanted me to take a pill for my high blood pressure. Yeah. Because when I came in, I was stressed, definitely stressed. And I refused the pill that they wanted to give me, and she was going to write down that I was not compliant. And I said, now if you're going to write on my chart that I'm not compliant, I'm absolutely going to take that stinking pill. But at that point, she looked at me, and frankly, there was a mutual understanding that I can appreciate. She would not have withheld my breathing medication if she had the chance, because she understood I was not taking the pill because I needed the pill. I was taking the pill because I was intimidated into taking the pill. And I explained to her the reason I didn't want to take it is because, my blood pressure is high right now, but I'm not going to be stressed while I'm sleeping. And if you give me a pill that lowers my blood pressure while I'm awake and stressed, and then I fall asleep, then it'll just kill me. So there's forensic interviews where I talked about that conversation I had. So I actually sincerely appreciate that she took away the threat so that I could then just refuse the pill, because I think that pill would have killed me. Because I don't have high blood pressure. I only have high blood pressure when I'm in pain and when I'm stressed. And frankly, everybody has high blood pressure in those 2 conditions compared to what their normal amount is. And my Dr. Baines at Kaiser Permanente has seen my low blood pressure. So it has very much, you can't treat a high blood pressure in somebody who has low blood pressure because it will kill them. All right, moving on. I can't hate these other people for the Hitler salute in my living room. All I have left is my birthright, my First Amendment birthright to tell the truth about myself, which I don't really have at the moment because if my mommy hears this recording, she will have me put in jail. So I have to hide from my mother because my mother is enforcing Voldemort's. The point is, I'm trying to create the habit, not trying to, not that I'm legally obligated in this recording to keep his name out of my mouth, but I'm trying to create the habit so that if I am in a place where she sees me, I can still not go to jail. Anyway, moving on. And since Voldemort has threatened to have me jailed if I talk to anyone I knew from the time I spent loving his kids before mine, I will tell the world until I can talk to my sons. And I list their birth date. After dealing with miscarriages after miscarriages from 1993 until 2000. That was a lot of my boys, my sons came on what was actually, I know people say, well, the last try is obviously the last place that, whatever. But this was going to be the last try. And it worked. I feel very, very fortunate. Okay, so what did I say here that confuses anyone? This is my loading screen. I sent a picture of my loading screen. And it has on here that my title is Supplication. Google supplication, I say. Those are my boys who are now men that I find that I don't know I'll ever recognize. My typos are terrible, I know, but I can't see when I was typing. Ask someone if 8.5 years of terrorism by crusaders is worth keeping my sons alive. And they're going to say yes. I'm going to say yes because I absolutely, if I never see them again, at least they're alive. And that wasn't going to happen without getting some, running some interference and getting that fairy godmother from OHSU into the house to make the abuse stop. And I became the target. And that sucks, but, I mean, if I'm not bitter and vengeful, what the F word are they doing still threatening me? I say I'm the only one still suffering, and it's nothing a therapist can fix. Feeling good about this is not the point of therapy. The therapist can't make me feel better about this. They can give me the tools. Well, I already spent time in a Buddhist temple. I understood dialectical behavior therapy that was based on the mindfulness I learned in Japan. I knew that a long time ago. I didn't know it was called dialectical behavior therapy in English. I learned it in Japanese. All right. I am unafraid of homelessness. I did that. I'm unafraid of MAGA. Voldemort introduced me to the world of flat earthers when I came back from Japan in 1992. I've mourned. I've cried. I've been angry enough. My heart became arrhythmic. The only thing left is to tell my story publicly. I need to change the world enough for my children to hear my whisper. Because when I was angry at my kids, I didn't even yell at them. For them, sure. But the conversation was quiet. When will the world be quiet enough for my children to hear me whispering? Thanks for listening. I do care what you say, and if you come up with a plan that doesn't involve filing complaints appropriately, I will heed it. I said, this is my phone number, or this is my mom's phone number. I say, you could find my kids. The Oregon State Police seems to be the appropriate place for my next complaints to go formally, and the governor and AG can't possibly oppose me. I only have to file tort claims if I can't find a better path. But I will be filing complaints until my children are well checked without the terror and I have a medical care based in reality. Until then, I'm doing what I can each day, knowing that what did I say here? I'm doing what I can each day, knowing that if I'm going to see them again, if I die without seeing them again, I can die knowing I did my best. My education tells me my education tells me I can be arrested if I lie to the police. So see here that I'm speaking with words I expect to be held accountable for. Officer Kevin Duggan could call Shelley Aschenbrenner again and just ask the question you can hear I requested on YouTube. And I list this place. And I say, Dozo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. I list my driver's license and birth date. And I name my children and their birth date, and they are going to turn 24 in just a few days. And I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them together since 2016, maybe 2017. Oh, right. I haven't seen them together since the beginning of 2017. I have seen each of them separately, a couple of them at a time, not for several years. The problem is that if I complain about the terrorism that I have absolutely experienced because of MAGA, my mommy tells me I'll go to jail. And Shelley Aschenbrenner, as the person who will get called first by me if I do go to jail, explains that I will have to testify in court and I will be arrested automatically, and it will be only after I've been arrested that I'll have a chance to present my defense. And when I went to address this civically, before Trump had tanked the economy, I experienced retaliation. My mother took the phone that I had tried to get ownership of. I've tried to give her money for. I've tried to have it transferred into my name. And she locked me out of everything. She just canceled it. She killed the phone number. And it immediately, I woke up one day and I couldn't get into my own bank because my phone wasn't working. There are accounts that I have absolutely lost access to because of that, and I don't wish, since she's not going to hear this, I can say honestly, it really upset me. It really upset me. It made things much, much harder. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I've recovered a lot from the things that I've experienced, and I have hope enough each day to wake up and do it again. And I go to bed each day knowing that I have absolutely made a point of laughing out loud somewhere along the way, because that's living. You have to find the flowers to smell along the way, whether they're roses or something else. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, wow. I guess I'm pretty good at this whole 30-minute thing. Here's another 30-minute video. And I should come up with another animation other than this hat so that it's at least a little bit more amusing. And itekimasu.